On November the 16th, 1860, the first ship, the SS Truro, arrived in Durban with 342 passengers from Chennai in India on board. The second vessel, the SS Belvedere, arrived 10 days with 310 men and women from Calcutta. Between 1860 and 1911, over 150,000 slaves would be used as cheap labor in the sugarcane fields of the then Natal. 85-year-old Dr. Jagadesan Patha is a first-generation South African Indian. His paternal grandfather traveled by ship to Mauritius from Chennai. His father was born in Port Louis on the Indian Ocean island, and the family later moved to South Africa. Patha says this day reminds him of the harsh living and working conditions that the laborers had to endure.
The rations were cut for every misdemeanor. The rations were cut, the wages, which is poultry, was cut, and they suffered from pre-dawn to dusk. They had no time for social life except on a Sunday. If we take all these conditions, the suicides, the deaths through malnutrition, and the inability to practice the religion, etc., the Indians, the indentured Indians, saw the 5-year stint and the 10-year stint. And today, the 4th and 5th generation are the byproducts of the struggle.
The occasion was marked by interfaith prayers at the Durban beachfront, and flowers were thrown into the ocean in remembrance of those who traveled thousands of kilometers to find a new home on a different continent. The 1860 Heritage Center believes more stories need to be told to keep the legacy alive.
This is one story of the many stories that are to be told of the collective South African narrative. And particularly 26 years into our democracy, many of these stories remain untold. So it's our duty, not just as indentured ancestry descendants, but as South Africans, to be telling these stories to our children, our grandchildren, and so that this legacy is being told and retold.
The provincial government also paid tribute to the Indian community for contributing to building the new South Africa. A monument to preserve the legacy of the indentured laborers was meant to have been erected 10 years ago.
We're building the monument as part of preserving our heritage. When we talk about preserving Isandlwana and preserving other historic sites, we are also incorporating such initiatives that must bring all of us together as part of building one nation.
The construction of the 1860 monument is expected to commence early next year. Simpiwe Makanya, SABC News, Durban.